You should beat the Redskins. You should handle them easily. They shouldn't be an issue. If you look good against the Redskins, it's a good sign. I'm happy about it, but that's not the end-all, be-all, okay? You should look good against the Redskins. What I would need to see to feel supremely confident in what the offense is doing and what the direction that this team is going is consecutive weeks against the Redskins, Rams, and Seahawks looking very, very efficient on the offensive end. You don't have to be explosive. I'm not looking for 30-plus games every time. But if you're moving that ball, you're putting points on the board, and you're looking like you're doing the things that you know that are your strength on the offensive end, running the ball, letting Cap be dynamic, finding your Vernon Davises, your Anquan Boldens, your Mario Manninghams, I would feel very, very good about this team. And they completed phase one. They handled the Redskins. Now phase two is handle the Rams. I'm not saying you should beat down the Rams, but the way I feel about this team and what they could do in this situation, this should also be a double-digit win. You got to show the Rams that, hey, you're still little brother out here. You're the little homie, okay? You're the little homie, and you play your role. You know your role right now. All right, I expect them to run the ball on St. Louis. I expect them to continue to be dynamic. The things that they started in the Washington game, I expect them to expand on that even more against St. Louis. Yeah, you've gotta continue to stretch the field. You know what I mean? You've got to continue to show teams that you will go down the field on them if they get a little too run happy or run defense happy, or they start to put too much pressure on Cap. You'll go over the top. I feel like you got to show that. Just keep the offense moving. That's the key. I have no worries about the defensive end. Obviously, if you've been listening to me for the past 20 minutes almost, you know how I feel about the defense. I have no worries about them. They're going to come to play. They're going to do their job. Offensively, let's keep it moving. As far as the injury front, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about Terrell Brown. I doubt if he plays this week. If Potty probably doesn't play. I thought Snyder did a good job in the pass protection. The run protection was a little off. That's where you're going to miss a Potty a little bit. But I thought Snyder did an all right job on Monday night. And the big one is Crab was activated today. That boy King Crab was activated, and Harbaugh says that he might see some action. They expect him to see some action on Sunday. That would be big. I don't need my man Mike Crabtree going 100 miles per hour to start off. This is his preseason too. Okay, so treat it as such. All right, get him out there, get him a feel for being a part of this team, being a part of this offense again. Get him a feel for just game action. You know what I mean? I'm not a football wizard, so I'm not sure the percentage of plays that would be or whatever. But, just get him out there. Get him out there. Get him out there in simple routes where he doesn't have to do too much cutting or anything like that. You don't want anything re-injured, or you don't want anything where he's so dependent on the bad Achilles that, he compensates in another area of his body and hurts that as well. Bring him along slowly, okay? This team is dynamic enough right now without having him at full throttle where they can win a game against St. Louis at home. You know what I mean? Bring him along slowly. Get him ready for the stretch run because we got a lot of football left. But it's good. It's going to be good to see 15 out there, baby. It's going to be real good to see that boy 15 out there. I can't wait for that. Crab is back, baby. So, Niners, Rams. Like I said, I'm expecting about a 10-point win, man. You know what I mean? Handle the Rams at home. And the Rams are no slouch. It's going to be a good, tough, physical game. They're going to be a good test for the 49ers. But the 49ers are the better team. They're at home. And now it's time to start turning up this situation and get this going. All right? So I'm expecting about a 10-point win. I told you every week on the Niners Remix, I'm going to give a little look at the playoff picture and what's ahead of us. I still think there's an outside shot of winning that division, especially after Seattle got caught doing their yearly thing, doing drugs, whether it's performance enhancing or whether it's recreational. It doesn't matter. They're a bunch of cheaters. They're a bunch of hooligans that go out and don't pay attention to the rules. And once again, they've done it again this year, losing Browner, losing Walter Thurman. No surprise here, all right? That's what they do in Seattle. They're a disgrace of a franchise, and I mean that. They're a disgrace of a franchise, all right? So, with them continuing to be a disgrace to the franchise. I still think there's an outside shot for the Niners to take care of the division. It's a long shot, trust me. It's definitely a long shot. But, if you got Seattle losing to New Orleans this coming Monday night, losing to the Niners the following week, and then going to New York and having a problem dealing with Eli in New York, the Niners tied. They went out. You never know what might happen. You know what I mean? You're going to definitely need some help, and you're going to need Seattle to falter a little bit. It's probably unlikely, but hey, the door isn't closed just yet. But even with that being said, like I told you earlier, I'm not afraid as a 49er fan to go anywhere in football with this defense on my side. They can go anywhere they want to and take care of business. They can dictate the tempo. They can dictate how the game is played. And I'm supremely confident in this team on the defense because of what they can do on the defensive end. Another big thing that happened for the playoff picture, the 3 NFC North teams either tied or lost this past week, and that was big for me because I feel because of that, they all have 5 losses now. We're talking about Detroit, Chicago, and Green Bay. And I feel because of that 5th loss and because of the bad losses that they won, all of them were expected to win the games that they played this week. It could be a situation where, first of all, one of them is going to have 6. Detroit and Green Bay play on Thanksgiving, so one of them is going to have 6 losses. And because of that, it makes me feel like the North is just going to be a one-bid division here. It's just going to be the division winner that's going to get in. So now when you talk about wildcard teams, you're looking at the 49ers, the Panthers, Saints, loser in the NFC South, and really the Cardinals. And that's about it. You got 3 teams looking for 2 spots. So before that, you were probably looking at the Bears, maybe the Packers in that situation. Not anymore. You know what I mean? The NFC North looks like it's going to be a one-bid division, and that's big for the Niners' playoff chances. So you gotta like that going down this past week. And like I said before, you gotta look out for Arizona. You gotta respect them. I'm not a huge believer in Arizona, but you can't front on the role that they've been on and the way they're playing. I mean, they absolutely destroyed the Indianapolis Colts this past Sunday, and you gotta respect them. You gotta have your radar up for them, and you gotta beware of that. And see if maybe they're the team that goes into Seattle and gives Seattle a loss. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen there the way they're playing football. So got to keep your eye on them. But point blank period, I got the Niners finishing at worst 4-2 in their final. Well, now it'll be 3-2 in their final 5 games. Possibly a 5-0, more likely a 4-1. Which will put them at 11-5, and they should definitely make the playoffs at 11-5. So, that's all I got right now for the Niners remix. I appreciate you guys taking the time, listening to your boy. You know, it's all about Niners on this Niner remix. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you want to hear about the 49ers, and you want to talk about the 49ers, check this out. Get at me and get on the show. We can have a good old time. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. All my fellow Niner fans out there, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. All my NFL fans out there, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I will be back next week, hopefully in an even better mood after a beatdown of the St. Louis Rams. We out of here. Slap hands. Niners won. Slap hands, everybody. Y'all be good. 100.
Fresh up the banana boat, I come straight from the east. But no, bitch, I'm kinda low. You tell me where you wanna meet.